Suck the tears off my dick, you ugly mudfuckers. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. I'm back. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles, and all your base have belonged to us. Joining me today, an absolute goomba of a man. It's Biggie.
Thank you. Hello.
She used to be an adventurer, but then she took an arrow to the tit. It's Candy.
Oh, it was sore as well. Never been the same.
Hey, look, listen. It's Stig.
What's that from?
That's Navi from Zelda.
That's why I don't get it.
Wow. And Gadget unfortunately had an accident involving a kangaroo, some maracas, and a Corby trouser press, so won't be joining us this evening. Before we get into the show, please consider becoming one of our sexy and incredibly cool patrons to help us divide and conquer the podcasting world. Details are in our show notes, but mainly check out our website, modernescapism.co.uk, for more exquisite content and links to everything we do. Check out our YouTube, our TikToks, and don't forget to review the show. And if you are a patron, we've got lots of good stuff coming in the pipeline. We've got Kenny Potter, we've got Too Faff, Too Curious, It's All Back, Smash That Glass, we've got the Deep Dive Lounge, we've got Scorched Sheep, we've got everything. Be a patron.
Yes.
And now, it's time. It's Biggie's breaking news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's breaking news.
Yes, and the latest breaking news just in: Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development.
No way.
Wow.
Ubisoft.
I feel like that's been in development that long. I've played it, beat it, finished it, and traded it in already, even though I've never even touched the game.
Is it
like a
been in development longer
distant
than
memory.
Duke Nukem Forever was?
I will tell you,
that crown.
It's
Ubisoft insists that despite other recent cancellations and financial concerns, Beyond Good and Evil 2's development is underway and the team is hard at work to deliver on its ambitious promise, a Ubisoft spokesman told somebody at some point. And it holds the record for the longest development period for a major video game, having originally been announced, are you ready? More than 15 years ago.
This is what I mean. I feel like I've already
Yikes.
beat it and it's a memory. Oh, wow.
My marriage is
Good
longer
luck.
than that.
Yeah, but good luck catching up with the old games. You know what? When the new one's coming out, you're like, I'll play. Oh, I need to get a PS2 or an Xbox. It's like, or a GameCube.
No, I don't know.
Do you play that now? Unless it's on some kind of digital store somewhere.
Steam Deck.
I like the trailer for it. It did look quite interesting, but I've forgotten what it was all about now.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was good. It was a bit like Zelda, but you were a photographer. There was a pig and some spaceships. That's all I remember.
But yeah, if that wasn't exciting enough, Ubisoft's Paris staff have called to strike following the CEO's "ball is in your court" comments. Apparently, union workers at Ubisoft Paris have been called into strike in response to the CEO, sorry, excuse me, Yves Guillemot's comments to employees that the ball was in their court following a disappointing financial result in the company's recent quarter. Today, more than ever, he said, I need your full energy and commitment to ensure we get back on the path to success. I'm also asking that each of you be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives to ensure we're being as efficient and lean as possible. The ball is in your court to deliver this lineup on time and at the expected level of quality and show everyone what we are capable of achieving. In response to that, a chapter of workers responded and said that they've called for a strike action on Friday, 27th of January, writing, the ball is in our court, but the money stays in his pocket.
You know what it seems to me? It seems like Yves Guillemot is going to cancel subsidised food in the canteen. He's gonna get one-ply toilet paper in the cubicles. He's pulling his socks up and he's saying, "We don't make original games anymore." What are we gonna do? Because they don't. They don't. When was the last original game they made?
And in all seriousness, they went on to say he's trying to shift the blame once again onto the employees, saying that the CEO's calls for employees to give it our all and to be efficient and lean as possible would lead to overtime, managerial pressure, and burnout.
There's nothing physically wrong with the games they're producing. Like, if you went to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla as your first Assassin's Creed, you'd be like, wow, this is cool. But it's exactly the same as the others. You know what I mean? If you played the last Far Cry that came out, you'd be like, wow, this is incredible. But it's exactly the same as the others. That's the problem. This is what, I mean, sorry, Kenny, but Bethesda went through that, didn't they, for a while? Every game was exactly the same game. And then they expanded and bought other things in and brought other stuff in. They're even like publishing Evil Within, which is something completely out of their wheelhouse, and it worked. Like, oh, we've got Mario on our side. Yeah, but the last Mario Rabbids game was exactly like the last one. It's like, and they can't rely on Just Dance anymore either, because TikTok's the new Just Dance, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is, they probably do deserve to strike, because I've got no doubt that there is a massive crunch culture with Ubisoft and everything.
Oh, but
that said, the French do love a strike, though, don't they?
They do. They do.
They absolutely love a strike. So
since the storming of the Bastille, they've been a proud country of strikers.
Absolutely.
Oh, they do it right. Did you see the rail strikes where they're going down, like, had a barbecue on the rails? They're going down the street and there's a big barbecue set up, like, and everything. They
that
do
sounds
it right.
banging.
Yeah, but well, I'm all for the people, so let the people strike.
Well, it's interesting you
Oh,
mentioned Bethesda, because there's been a trailer announced for Elder Scrolls Skyblivion, a fan-made project.
Skyblivion. What the fuck's that?
You excited, Candy? You excited?
I am.
It's a volunteer
Although it means I'm going to have to play on PC, though.
Yeah. It's a volunteer-based project by the TES Renewal Modding Group. They've said they aim to bring Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion to a new generation of gamers and reintroduce it to long-time fans of the series. We're currently in the process of remaking Cyrodiil, is that right? Cyrodiil? Along with all of its quests, locations, and characters into Skyrim and Skyrim, the Special Edition.
Thing is, this needs to be done, because a lot of people's first Elder Scrolls game was Skyrim. It was mine. But people love, like...
Was it?
Yeah, people love Oblivion. I think Oblivion...
Morrowind for me.
Yeah, I think... I want
like
to say
then.
that Oblivion's Gadget's favourite.
It was my
Oblivion's
first
the only
edition,
one I've finished, actually. It's the only... of the Elder
Oblivion
Scrolls
is great.
It's the only one
But Skyrim's my favourite, because it just kind of took Oblivion and then went bigger. And the dragons. Had dragons.
It's got dragons.
There's dragons in it. Definitely is. Next.
It looks like 343's Halo Infinite campaign team got hit hard. In an email to staff, studio head Pierre Hitz wrote that we've made the difficult decision to restructure elements of our team, which means some roles are being eliminated. Stop it. And includes for Microsoft 10,000 layoffs within its video game division.
That's fucked up.
Wow.
That is stupid. That's a small nation. That's ridiculous. But you can't rest all your hat on one thing, can you? You know what I mean? Halo didn't... I mean, everyone loved it critically, but...
Not launching it without the multiplayer
It's daft.
was stupid. Stupid idea. Because...
You
have people like me who really,
co-op.
really, really enjoyed the campaign, but I had to play it by myself.
Yeah.
But if I'd have had the ability to play it with someone else first, I would have done that.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, well, I've played it. You know, we played the multiplayer together, me and some of my friends. That's really good fun, but I'm just not. I have no desire to go back and play multiplayer with it now.
Go on. As I've said, I've beat the first, second, and third one, and I really liked them. But I have never played a Halo game on my own. I've always played it co-op. Do you know what I mean? It's just something to me, it's not a single player game. If you get me, it's in my head, it's a multiplayer game, and without that, it's just. I bet it's uninstalled on a lot of Xboxes. I bet it's not.
Mine isn't just for the multiplayer. We keep it for the multiplayer. So that's really good. But,
yeah.
But yeah, I just think they should have rushing it, saying it's going to drop, and then being all like, "Oh, we're going to delay it because we've got to get it right," but then not actually sorting out the multiplayer. And then I think the multiplayer is only 2-player, whereas Halo's always traditionally been 4-player.
4, yeah.
Campaign. It's like I wanted to get 4 people together with 3 people and just fucking go, because you can obviously drop in the campaign. You have base. You can drop vehicles into your base, so you can go there and request like drop me a Scorpion. If you get like 4 people dropping a Scorpion or dropping a Warthog, and then you obviously have NPCs that jump onto those with their rocket launchers, you could like essentially get 4 of you in vehicles with your NPCs on the vehicles.
Small armor.
All of them, you could give them rocket launchers and just go fuck shit up.
Yeah, you could create your own little stories, couldn't you? Which is what
can't do
all
that.
about.
So
shite.
Yeah, they fucked it themselves. I think.
I'd still feel bad for 10,000 workers though. Where are they going to go? The fuck are they going to go?
Start your own studio.
Ubisoft. Oh no, wait, they're having problems.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yes, it's awful. Next.
Speaking of which, hope you've got massive hard drives, because you're going to need at least 150 gigabytes of storage capacity for Forspoken ahead of its release later
I'm
this
not getting
month. Square Enix has revealed details on the PC requirements, and if you want it to run at its very best, you're going to basically need where is it? You're still using. Sorry, I'll start again. The bare minimum, Square Enix says that you'll be able to use a much older CPUs and GPUs to run the game, although it's rendering a targeted 720p at 30 frames per second. If you're still using AMD Radeon RX 5500 or NVIDIA 1060 graphics cards.
Because I don't.
They're just numbers to me. If you want to
Somebody out there will understand.
If you want to hit the sweet spot at 1440p at 30 frames per second, you'll need a PC that has all the current stuff. And
no 60 frames.
Well, that's going to be like the case with all new games that come for a PC. So
yeah, but don't bite it, because I'll tell you now, I played that demo and then the demo got patched and it was still shit.
Yeah, it was boring. The demo was like 35 gigs though.
Yeah,
even that was fucking huge.
To be fair, if you've got a gaming PC and you can't find 150 gigabytes worth of space, then you're not gaming. You're not PC gaming properly. I have 4 hard drives in my computer, and I don't even game on it that much.
All right, you Willy Waver.
I know.
3.6. I just looked now. I've got 3.6 terabytes if it's all empty.
He's got a 4 terabyte cock. That's what he's got.
Well, one of them is full of media and videos and pictures
porn.
and shit.
Yeah, porn.
Who saves porn to the computer these days?
It's easy access. What if there's a power cut and you need?
You do. You've got 3 terabytes
worth. Is it? It's not a laptop yours, is it?
No. I hadn't saved porn to my computer in years. Not since broadband was a thing.
I think he does. He sends it to our Dropbox. Next.
Avengers Disassemble. Plans to seize development on Marvel Avengers has accelerated at Crystal Dynamics, with sources pointing to an announcement was going to be as early as next week. The lead developer has parted ways, and no additional content, characters, missions will be released. The long-awaited Traversal update will apparently be Avengers' last, and it won't receive official support after September the 30th. The game's final balance patch will arrive on March 31st.
They fucked up that cash cow, didn't they?
I played that game to completion.
Imagine having the Avengers IP and fucking it that badly that no one wants to play it within a year.
I played the single player campaign, and then halfway through it, it says like, "It's time for loot box." I'm like, whoa! We were on a linear path. We were going level by level, and now it's turned into this open loot box fucking grind. And we're like, no, but I still did it.
That's basically the point I fell off. You start out the first few hours as Miss Marvel, it's pretty good. It's this linear journey. You're doing all this nice story, and all of a sudden it's like, go around smashing boxes, looking for loot, assembling fire teams for every mission, changing your clothes. Which that's the other thing that really annoyed me as well. If you're gonna give the character armor, can I see it, please?
Oh no, you can't in this game.
You would put like gauntlets on the Hulk and stuff, and it'd show it in the menus, and you'd go out to the game, and you didn't have them on.
No,
like what's the point in that?
Shite.
So yeah, it's just I just wasn't very good, and they look.
Why the fuck does the Hulk need gauntlets?
He doesn't.
Hulk wears armor.
Yeah, he does in quite a lot of comic books. He wears
that was just an example. Where
it's not like
you
need
got
to,
given
though,
you got given upgrades and cosmetic upgrades that actually did something, but then they weren't actually on show.
Yeah. And then what they did instead, Square Enix just decided to bring out Guardians of the Galaxy, which is amazing. That's how you do it. That's how you fucking do it.
And they didn't feel like Wish versions of the MCU.
No, that's how you use that, because that game engine they created for it, and that's how you use that clusterfuck into something brilliant. That's how you polish a turd, basically. But that's how you know that those devs know how to create that kind of game. And it seems that Square Enix forced them to turn it into a multiplayer grind-a-thon thing. What do they call them games with battle passes and stuff? Live service game, that's the thing. I fucking hate that shit. Yeah, they ruined it.
That's what Kill the Suicide Squad has been a leak saying that might be like that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're now saying it's only cosmetic based, but
yeah, but so is the Avengers.
We'll see.
That's only cosmetic based. It doesn't work. Single player games aren't dead, guys. Come on. Next.
Sadly, there's been a few announcements of cancellations in the film and TV world. Snowpiercer Season 4 has been cancelled. I actually haven't seen any of it. Snowpiercer, sorry, yeah, Snowpiercer. I've got to get a mistake in there somewhere.
I saw the first season and I liked it. I just didn't realise there were another season. I didn't know there were 2 more seasons. I didn't know it happened.
Yeah, we stopped. We got we really liked it. Then we got 3/4 of the way through season 3, and just kind of never finished it. We struggled to go back into it. It's just so bleak and kind of
it's not fun to watch.
No, and it was getting a bit samey. And then the fact that it's been cancelled and we won't get the outcome, we're just like, oh well.
I still think the film is something that everyone should watch. I think the film's incredible.
Is this a Korean one, or do they do an American film?
It is a Korean film, but it's got an American actor in it called
Korean, but with Western actors.
Oh, okay.
There's some Korean actors in there. It's Bong Joon-ho.
Right.
Yes, the guy who directed Parasite.
Yeah. I didn't realize. I thought there was a Korean one and an American one.
I think the TV show does a better job because it has more time.
Yes.
The film
With
is
each
okay.
carriage
We've
and
got
stuff.
an hour and a half to 2 hours to fight up the carriages, so we're just going to kind of show these carriages quickly as we go along. Whereas the TV obviously had time to flesh things out and show the different dynamics between the upper class and the lower class and how things were, how people were treated and things like that. But I don't know. I just think it kind of lost its way a little bit, which was a shame.
You know what they should have called it? And this always annoys me that they missed this one. They should have called it Apocalocomotion.
Wow. I think we've got a podcast title.
Yeah. Next up, Grand Tour and Clarkson's Farm have reportedly been cancelled by Prime Video.
Shame.
Amazon won't be renewing either of the shows, but both are said to come to an end after the already commissioned seasons finish.
It's probably because Grand Tour cost them fucking millions and not everyone's watching it. That's probably
they only do the specials of Grand Tour
though
now,
viewers,
don't they?
though.
The farm probably is, but then they've still got to deal with the fact of the leading man in the farm that they've got to deal with.
Can't keep his gob shut outside
Can't keep
the
his
show.
gob shut. Yeah, which if he did keep his gob shut, he would have a season 2 of the farm. But the Grand Tour, that seems to be one of the most expensive shows. God.
Well, so there is a second season of Clarkson's Farm due next month.
Yep.
So they obviously said they're not reviewing it for the third series, which is weird considering they haven't seen what the figures for.
I don't think they care about. I think they care about
gonna be.
Clarkson. I think that's the problem.
I read that actually they are still going. I think that season 3 has been commissioned, so it won't be anything after season 3. I could be wrong.
To be fair, 3 seasons of it's probably enough.
Yeah.
Like, what more are you going to do after that?
Oh no, the barn's on fire.
Well, I'm just kind of wondering where he's going to go with season 2, because season 1 was all him kind of learning and building things and setting up the shop and stuff.
And it was a lockdown show, wasn't it? Proper lockdown show. He couldn't do anything else but that. So yeah, it's weird that.
And he was actually I really enjoyed Clarkson's Farm, and I struggle with him at times, Clarkson, but I felt like he kind of reined himself in. Every now and again, he'd take a pop at the younger generation, because he always does, because he's a full-on boomer. But,
yeah, but that's not the offensive shit.
but it wasn't it wasn't that
it's
bad. I
watchable
think he
still.
did it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time it was like carried by. He actually came across at times really sympathetic and likable because of like how he was understanding how the farming industry worked.
I watched it all. I liked that. I like that farm. I liked it. Yeah. It was a good show. But then again, his own persona, even if it's not his real persona and he's just being a gobshite.
He plays into it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I feel like he does play into it. I bet he's so like lazy in real life. I bet he just wants to just sit there and read and drink, which is nothing wrong with that at his age. He's probably not he doesn't give a fuck that as much as he plays on, but the words that come out of his mouth go to millions of ears, and you've got to be accountable for it, unfortunately. And I think that's what Amazon.
He sounds like a drunk dad on Facebook, doesn't he? That he's had a few too many Stellas and he's gone off on one. But the thing is, he pressed send on that email, and also that they published it as well.
Yeah, so the Sun are always going to publish shite, so really, we won't get into that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a shame for everyone losing the jobs and blah blah blah. And again, you're not a villain if you're a fan of Jeremy Clarkson. It's just he is a bit of a villain, so you've got to. It all comes back around, doesn't it?
I think it's more complete, just ridiculously stupid rather than a villain. I don't. Well, I think the last thing that he said was complete stupidity, and I understand that it was a Game of Thrones reference and everything, but he's been in the industry long enough to know that you shouldn't say things like that. That was a tanked up too many beers thing to say. I think the thing that got him fired from the original Top Gear, that is completely unacceptable. Yeah. So there is a bit of villainy. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, he'll probably write a book about it anyway. So I mean, Stig's got the farm. Stig's got the farm book anyway. Big fan.
Yeah.
Next.
Anyone seen the Meghan movie yet?
Meghan Markle.
Well, Meghan has already got a sequel.
At me. That was a genuine question.
No,
it's a little horror. It's a new horror film that's just come out. It's like a little kind of robot helper girl. Like we're parents who can't be asked to look after our kids, so we've bought this robot little girl to play with them and teach them and stuff.
Film.
And she kind of gets a bit overprotective, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, like robots tend to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And they've got
Meghan 2.0 will be a sequel due in 2025, apparently.
More Meghan.
Apparently it's quite fun.
Yeah, I've heard some good reviews for it.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good fun. Even like Mark Kermode said it was really good. That kind of just fun.
Well, if Mark likes it, maybe I will check it out. I respect his views.
Yeah, but the thing with Kermode is
he can be old.
Yeah, he can be so sniffy about those kind of films. So if he's coming out and saying it's really fun, then it actually probably is really fun.
He's doing something extra.
If it's hit a chord with him, then it's doing something where actually he's enjoyed it, because he can be very sniffy about films aimed at young people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Meghan 2, more Meghan. Meganin. The Meganin.
I think. Well, they've obviously looked at it and thought we've got something as a like child's play.
It's going to be like that little Annabelle thing, isn't it? Where there's 400 Annabelles or whatever it's called. I've never watched any of them either.
Yeah.
Fucking dross.
I'll wait for the kids to say, "Can I have a Megan for Christmas?"
I don't like these little schlocky horror things. I like horror to do a little bit more than just, I'm baddie now, I'm going to stab you in the face. There's a place for him. There's a place for him. Usually, like, your partner wants to see them.
You need to watch the Chucky season, like the actual TV show. That's really good.
I still need to see that.
It's really good. Just season 2's just come out, so I want to get on that. Yeah, but that's because it leans into its ridiculousness.
Yeah,
It knows what it's doing.
I like self-aware horror, like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. Yeah, okay.
Next up, Tron Ares is in the works at Disney.
Ares.
That's not how it's spelt. With Jared Ares.
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 That's how you spell Ares.
All right, I thought it normally has an I after the R. There you go.
Oh, my money messing, mate.
It's in the works with Disney with Jared Leto. Yeah, set to star.
No.
And Joachim Ronin set to direct. Yeah.
He keeps getting work.
I reckon they don't pay him. I think I'll do it for free. I think he does things for free, me. Because who's paying him? Who's paying it?
He must have something on someone.
I think that's definitely the case.
Yeah.
Oh, you lost me at Leto.
There's still like millions of people that want his babies so badly.
The problem is he can do it. I think he can act. He just chooses ridiculous. Like his last few roles have all just been ridiculous.
Yeah, look at him in Dallas Buyers Club. Looking sensational.
Yeah. Lord of War is really good in.
Yeah, he is.
He's good in Requiem for a Dream, isn't he? I've not seen it yet.
Yeah.
American Psycho. I mean, these are back when he was younger.
He's great in Suicide Squad. I'm joking.
But yeah, he just keeps now kind of this House of Gucci, Morbius, the Joker.
That House of Gucci, I watched that other week. Fucking hell, that's funny. That.
He's great in Fight Club because he gets punched to fuck.
Yeah, but he don't say much in Fight Club, does he?
How do you think he's going to method act for Tron?
He's going to become a robot for a year.
Yeah.
Insert himself into a USB.
Shove himself into a computer.
Yeah, he's going to actually have like computer parts surgically put into his body.
USB stuck up his ass and stuff like that. Upload me. Oh, God.
Turn his cock into a USB.
He'll still have a 50% chance of inserting it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it'll be USB-C, mate. It'll be fucking cutting edge Leo dick. That's not a podcast title.
Jared DeLito.
Jared DeLito. That's really good.
Like it.
That's comedy. Next.
Sadly, not very funny. Bruce Straley, one of the veteran game directors responsible for The Last of Us and its Left Behind expansion, and pretty much most of the Uncharted series, has called for unionisation in the video game industry. Yes. He was not credited for his role in shaping the setting and characters featured in HBO's hugely popular adaptation. More of that later. With Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin being awarded official writing credit. He suggested unionisation may be the solution to ensuring creators are recognised for their contributions.
I agree. So even if you've designed a trash can and it's there and it's in the game or in the world, that's your credit. That's your portfolio. That's your career.
Said last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Exactly what we said last week.
2 stories in 2 weeks of the same thing.
It's disgusting.
It's got to be close to unionisation happening really now, isn't it?
It has to, mate.
Can't be far off.
There's no choice. It's a massive industry now. It's as big as Hollywood, and Hollywood's had unionisations for fucking decades, like 40 years. This is
it's amazing.
It's
taken
you're going to be looking at
that long.
If they do unionise, you're going to be looking at 90 quid games though. No, that's not just obviously people's rights are far more important, but there's going to be people kicking off about it when they realise what it means.
That's true. It's true, but then quality is going to come out rather than quantity, I think. And then you paying for one 90 quid game that's going to last you months and months and months because the quality put into it is better than someone like me keep buying 50 quid games and thinking, fucking hell, I've beat it already.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, and I'm not defending crunch culture, I'm not defending the way that employees are treated, but at the same time, you're going to be looking at that you're going to have less QA testers and you're going to have fewer new graduates able to get jobs because these gaming companies are not going to be able to afford people en masse. So it is, for the consumer, it is a double-edged sword, but things need to be put in place. And I think, as usual, it's just the CEOs at the top need to not have such a...
Take a fucking pay cut, that's what they need.
They need to not have such a massive, massive increase in what they get paid compared to the next person down.
Yeah.
And then compared to the next person down. And, you know, when people's wages are doubling and quadrupling every time you work up one step in the ladder, that's when things go wrong, where, you know, if... No, not one employee should be paid more than double the next person down. Like, I mean, obviously the CEO is going to be paid a lot more than somebody from the ground, but they should never be paid more than twice as much as the next person.
The problem with pay scale is that goes on countries as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because the CEO of like a game developer in Britain is not getting as much as a game developer in America. Not a chance. Not a prayer.
But then it's a world stage now as well in gaming development.
It is.
So the whole thing, I think, needs some
needs
kind
to be
of
a massive restructure, doesn't there?
Absolute massive restructure.
Yeah, and I think we're the ones to do it. Us four. We should take over. Not Gadget, because he's not here. Just us four. Which studio do you want to take? I'll take Square Enix, please.
Microsoft, because they have everything.
Okay, you can have that. Candy
You
can
know
have
who I'm
Bethesda.
asking for.
I'll have Ubisoft.
No, whatever. You're Sony through and through.
I want Division 3 out. I'll make sure it happens.
You're going to burst through that door and just go, Killzone, I want more Killzone. What you working on? New God of War? No, Killzone.
Killzone. Yeah. I think we can do it, guys, together. We could save gaming forever. Next!
Let's hope Johnny has his body bags ready, because the 6th and final season of Cobra Kai is coming soon to Netflix.
This is such good news. It's coming quicker than I thought. Apparently it's coming in the next couple of months. I'm so pumped. I'm so fucking pumped for this finale. It's going to be epic. I reckon the whole of downtown Los Angeles is going to be at war.
Yeah.
A karate war.
Like, it was just funny because we talked about this, things we were looking forward to, didn't we, on our Patreon special? And earlier that day, they'd actually announced Cobra Kai. And we were like, is Cobra Kai coming out? Yeah, I think it is. But if one of us had just checked Twitter, we just didn't look. But yeah, there it is.
I bought it yesterday when I was drunk playing my piano. I bought a Cobra Kai hoodie, ready for next season, and I'm going to wear it every episode. Cobra Kai never dies, baby. It never dies.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. I reckon people listening to this have gone, why do they keep talking about it? Because it's that fucking good. If you've not watched a single episode of it, just watch it. Especially the first episode's a great introduction into the whole universe. That first episode with Johnny just being Johnny.
But also watch Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3 first.
But yeah, that will help. That will help massively.
Yeah, I need to watch that series.
God. Have you heard what this is extra news, but the showrunners to that have mentioned that they'd love to do something in the Rocky franchise, like a series.
Oh, imagine.
In the same vein, because some of Rocky films are dumb, aren't they? They're daft. Imagine that. Where everyone's...
They're bringing that robot back.
The whole world is just fighting. They're all in boxing, having boxing matches at school.
Running upstairs everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm so fucking pumped. Yes, Cobra Kai, baby. That's great news, Biggie. Thank you.
Well, there's even more, because the weird worldwide news web of weird shit. This was a very interesting one. If you've got a certain type of set of friends, and I have, then you may have been sent a certain video at some point that you click on and something happens. And this happened live on Match of the Day. Wolves versus Liverpool preamble. And yes, just in the middle of Gary Lineker talking to the guys in the studio, and the porn noise app went off.
It's so good.
And it was loud.
It's so good.
They were tried the best, didn't they? Bless them, to try and get through. And then Gary Lineker's just like, he's like, is that you making that noise, Danny? And he's just like, no. And then he cuts to Shearer, and Shearer's trying not to laugh. And it's just like, there's a video as well going. There's a video as well now of the people who did it. Like, he stood there in front of the TV and he's got his phone out because they found what it was. It was a
phone
chair.
Yeah, and they'd set it as a ringtone, and there's a video of him in his house calling it, and like with the TV on and it going off.
It makes you laugh though. Like, they're not checking chairs. That could have been a bomb on back of that fucking chair, just strapped to a chair. It's fucking funny though. It's so good. I love this. I want this to happen more often, like on Sunday brunch live. I want something like this
live on TV as well. Yeah,
it's so fucking good. Like that time when someone was on one of the X Factor live finals, and someone went, "You're a fucking dickhead," and it was like, yes.
Has anyone been caught out with the porn noise? Like not just like in your home, but like in public around people.
Yeah, on the bus,
at home,
at work.
I have. At
the bus
work,
is the worst.
Sat at my desk at work, and I'm like, I usually sit this podcast. Yeah, so I've got an earbud in, and I'm like, and it disconnected, and I hadn't realised, and I've got a video, and I clicked on it, and then all of a sudden it's just like the lady having an orgasm comes out really loud in the office. I'm like, fuck, and you're like this, scrambling to get it off, and then they had to explain what it was, and my colleagues just absolutely howling. But
I have moments like that on the bus every day. Like the other day, my earbuds battery just dropped. I was listening to Spotify, and then my phone just started playing at a full whack, and it was such an embarrassing song. It was one of the show tunes from fucking West Side Story. I'm like, oh my god, I'm supposed to be cool. I'm supposed to be cool.
The thing is now, you've become savvy to it. Someone sends you a video and it's like 10 seconds long. You're like, yeah, watch that with the volume down, or like, I know exactly what it is. And you know exactly what it is because it's always the same friend.
Yeah.
I've got a friend, when he sends a video in and it's like 10 seconds long, I'm just like, everyone's just like, not opening that.
Yeah. I also destroyed my HTC One M8, which is one of my all-time favourite phones of all time. I destroyed it because I dropped it because someone sent a clip and it was a ball coming into the screen and it made me drop my phone. And I dropped it in a proper smashed on me. I'm like, no! Yeah, that was a bad day. Stop it, guys. It's funny in retrospect.
It was funny on TV, though. Seeing it live on TV.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad it happened to BBC. Yay! Is that the news, Biggie?
That's it, bud.
Just one
Fantastic.
thing.
One thing?
One thing you've missed that I posted earlier.
Uh-oh.
Just a quick one. Hugh Jackman posted a picture of a Wolverine mask next to a Deadpool mask.
Has
a
he?
proper comic accurate looking Wolverine mask.
Let me have a look.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's the Uncanny X-Men, the metal one.
So it looks like we're finally going to get him in a proper Wolverine suit.
This is good. Hey,
that looks pretty cool.
Shing! It's the Uncanny one. It's the metal one when they all went in the 90s when they all went a bit metal. Oh, so cool.
I have a feeling that it's going to be Deadpool making him wear it. Like,
yeah, put this on now. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Cool. Let's get on to the Nexus. We're all going to jump into one at the very end of this because we all watched the same thing. You might be able to guess what it is if you've seen the show notes. But let's talk about what we've done this week. I'll start because the only thing I've been playing really is Dragon Quest Treasures. Now, guys, don't know if you know, but I really like Dragon Quest. I've mentioned it a few times. Like, even Stig likes Dragon Quest 11, so, you know what I mean? It's a bit of taste. And Gadget does, and Candy probably won't play it because she's scared.
Yeah, I am.
I'm here, and I have played it.
It is good. It is good, actually. I can't. I'm going to have to buy it now, though, because it's gone off Game Pass.
Has it? Oh, I've seen it cheap physical, but I don't think it's cheap to download. I think it's still 50 quid to download in most places. But yeah, Dragon Quest is a long-running franchise, probably the biggest franchise in Japan when it comes to JRPGs. Dragon Quest Treasures is a spin-off. Now, the series is very known for having spin-offs, Dragon Quest Monsters and stuff like that, which was Pokemon before Pokemon came out, I'm led to believe. I have played it, but I can't remember which came out first, the chicken or the egg. But yeah, Dragon Quest Treasures is a brand new spin-off where you play as Eric from Dragon Quest 11. You remember Eric, the Viking boy?
Yes.
The blue-haired guy. You play as him, and it's a prequel kind of thing. You play as him as a child with his sister, and you go into this, you're part of a Viking crew on a ship, and Eric's getting fed up, and his sister's getting fed up of not getting their own treasure. Because Vikings love pillaging, don't they? Pillaging, loads of pillaging. And they decide to go off on their own adventure. And they end up in this Dragon Island where, basically, did any of you play Pokemon Arceus?
Never played Pokemon.
Nah.
It's a little bit like that, where you've got like open zones, not open world, but open zones. You know how you can warp to a specific like open map. And the aim of the game is to either capture monsters that'll fight for you. You can fight yourself, but you're not good. And it's not turn-based battles; it's all open world battles. Or the main plot is to search for treasure, dig up treasure, get it appraised back home, and see how much your base is worth. Now, I've made the base modern escapism, and we're worth fucking thousands now. We're worth absolutely thousands. We're crushing the game.
Yeah,
and
boy.
Then you go home and use that treasure to rebuild your home base and put lovely things in. You know, that kind of gaming loop that games like this do. And it's just really, really pleasant. It's really fun. There's bosses in it. There's enemies that... it's a bit like baby's first JRPG in a strange way, because there's none of that annoying grindy stuff that you have to do that people don't like. You don't have to focus too much on stats. It's all, you get more treasure, your level goes up. You fight more monsters, your level goes up. That's it, really. And it's just really, really nice. It's got a bit of Monster Hunter to it as well. It was going really cheap. I got it for 40 quid. Because it came out at like 50 quid or whatever. And it's one of those, it's probably going to go down even cheaper, to be honest. But it's worth picking up if you just, do you know them games that keep telling people, like, you're listening to a podcast or you're watching films or you're doing something? It's proper. It's a lovely little, like, game loop for that. I really recommend it. But yeah, that's really, I've started watching The American Office again. I'm on season 4 already, and it's January still. God, that show's one of the best shows to just have on in background in the world.
Super.
It's so good. But yeah, the next thing I want to talk about is something we're all going to talk about together. So I'm going to move swiftly on to Biggie.
Yeah, I've just finished season 1 of Alice in Borderland.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Is a Japanese series that came out in 2020. I missed it completely. It was a recommendation.
Did it come out before Squid Game, and then people watched Squid Game?
It came out around the same time, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I didn't carry on with it. I watched Squid Game, then went on to Alice in Borderland. I was like, no, it's too similar.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
is it really similar?
It
Not
is.
really, but it was, similar enough that I've been burnt out.
It's basically based on a manga, in fact, by Haro Aso, and it does have strenuous links to Alice in Wonderland by the title, of course, but some of the characters do have names that would resemble characters from Wonderland. But in a nutshell, it stars Kento Yamazaki and Tao Tsuchiya as allies trapped in abandoned Tokyo, forced to compete in dangerous games. The type of difficulty is represented by playing cards to extend visas that, if expired, results in the player's execution by lasers being shot from the sky.
They don't fuck about, do they?
No, it's really well done. It's very intense. How do I explain? There is similarities with Squid Games, but it's definitely a lot more melodramatic than Squid Games. I thought Squid Games really dealt with the sort of the touching scenes. This has some similar stuff as well, but the Japanese just go a little bit overboard with this.
They do, don't they?
But I've really enjoyed it.
Animated.
Yeah. There are certain sort of monologues that just go on for a bit too long, as if you're playing like a Metal Gear Solid game or something like that. You just want the speech to end. But other than that, though, it's really good. I'm really intrigued to find out more about the story. To go into too much after what's been revealed through the first season would ruin it for anyone to watch it. So I won't go too much into it.
I might put that on this week, because I know it's getting renewed on that as well, isn't it? I know it's big.
I mean,
Season
literally,
2's come out.
Yeah.
The first episode is so well done, and it ends with a really cool sort of cliffhanger that would be almost as good as it was like the season cliffhanger. So there's definitely stuff that makes you want to keep watching. It's very well done. The acting's really good. Special effects are really done well. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. But yeah, I definitely think Squid Games is the better so far, I think. But there is season 2 on Netflix, so I'm going to try and watch that next.
Yeah, man. And yet your other thing is also the other thing we're going to chat about together. So let's go to Candy Town.
Well, another Japanese thing. I've been watching Junji Ito Maniac, or its full title, Junji Ito Maniac, Japanese Tales of the Macabre, which is a anthology series on Netflix by the renowned horror anime artist, or manga artist, I should say, Junji Ito.
Legend.
The best way, absolute legend. The best way to describe it really would be, it's kind of like a taster into his work. The episodes are split into either 1 or 2 short stories, and I think the shorter stories, the ones where it is split into 2, do suffer a bit from being just 10 or 15 minutes long. It doesn't really give you enough time to really kind of sink into the horror of it at all. There's quite a few of the stories that I'd like to, had I not known of them already from, it's taken from mostly Tomie and a few of his other anthologies. So if I hadn't known more or less the stories, I would have liked to have known more. And it doesn't follow all of the short stories exactly, but it's just like I said, it's basically like a taster menu. The anime does retain Junji's distinct style, albeit slightly less detailed than his 2D panels. So his style, obviously, it's a long way from the kind of uwu girls and pretty boys of the more popular mangas. You can really tell the traditional influence, like from the traditional Japanese theatre and art in his style. I think the one main difference being, whereas the manga's in black and white, other than it's normally got a couple of pages in the middle.
Don't they have like red blood in it as well? Some of them.
Do you know what? I can't remember, but very possibly. But all the anime episodes, bar one, are in colour, and the episodes range from a little bit silly. For example, an episode about an ice cream truck that takes kids on a ride across the city before eventually turning them into ice cream themselves.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, yes.
And it's raspberry.
I'd definitely be vanilla. That's boring, isn't it? But yeah, it goes to the kind of more...
I'd be mint choc chip.
That's not choc chip in there.
Rum and raisin.
Rum and raisin? Fuck off.
The granddad's ice cream.
Fuck off.
But yeah, it does go to the more kind of genuinely horrifying. One episode that does stand out to me, that has stuck in my head a little bit as being particularly chilling, is a story called Long Hair in the Attic. And I think that was in Tomie.
Yes, it was, yeah.
And it's... Even in the anime, it's horrible. Like, you can hear the kind of sound effects and the noises that she's making, where she sort of... The ghost picks up the phone and she's like... All you can hear is the teeth grinding.
Yeah, I've read that.
And it just goes straight through you. And just the vision, of this head strung up in the attic by his hair. Hate it. Whoa.
I mean, I'd go check your attic if I were you.
Thank God I haven't got one.
Oh.
I'm not going to check my pantry, though. But yeah, so some of the stories are kind of prevented from sticking with you just purely because they are too short. It doesn't shy away from being like viscerally gory either. There's plenty of heads being popped off left, right, and centre. Skin being peeled back in layers, and plenty of rotten corpses to enjoy. But I think that the genuine scares come from the kind of seeds of the paranormal that get planted in your head. One thing I do want to mention as well, and it seems an odd thing to focus on, but the title screen, like the intro, is so fucking cool. It's so pretty and so bright. Oh, it's amazing. I don't think this anime is going to be for everyone. If you have been watching other Netflix animes that have been popular recently, like Arcane or Castlevania or Edge Runners, you're probably not going to find that much in common with Maniac. But if you do watch it and you like what you see, go and read his books.
Overfiend.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah. But seek out his books because they're just incredible.
Yeah, really
and also another thing I'll say, there are not enough cats in this at all. I was expecting way more cats because Junji Ito is a famous cat lover. Yeah. He writes the most horrifically
there is even
scary
a cat story, isn't there?
Yeah, I've got it. Yep, Cat Diary. But yeah, he writes the most gory, horrific stories, and he's the most jolly little cat-loving fellow. If you ever see him being interviewed, he's adorable. But yeah, there's a cat episode right at the end, so I'm not too unhappy. But yeah, if you like it, seek out the books.
Excellent. Junji Ito's Maniac. Go for it. Stig, speaking of maniacs.
Just before we get into mine, I found Dragon Quest XI, £12.59. Good old Turkish VPN.
Yes, get it, mate. Get it downloaded. You will go to it at some point.
The other thing I did this week was I played a game. I replayed a game, which is very rare for me because
I don't think you ever have you?
I can count on one hand literally the 5 games that I've replayed. This was a game I've played for the 3rd time. It's not even one that
must be
twice.
good.
Played it for 3 times. Can you guess what it is?
Half-Life 2.
No. I played this and completed it this week.
Played it and completed it this week.
Mm-hmm.
GRIS.
Yes.
Oh,
hey.
Yes. I know you were about that. Game.
I decided to play this again because I just randomly put on the soundtrack when the office.
It's been updated again, hasn't it? As well, it's been updated.
And I remember Biggie brought brought a story to the biggest breaking news that it had been upgraded on the PlayStation 5 to 4K, 120 frames per second, has feedback and everything like that. So I thought, fuck it, I'll go have a look.
So good.
Get the PS4 version. You can upgrade to the PS5 version for free.
Yep.
So that'll save you. You basically get it for half price.
It's so fucking good.
So I've talked about how much I've liked this game before, but I've never actually reviewed it. So we're gonna review this game and why I think it's just stunning. So the game is from developers Nomada Studios. It's published by Devolver Digital, and the soundtrack is by the composers The Ballinist. That have fit in well with your topic this week, Candy, because I believe it has some female members in The Ballinist.
I'll look them up.
They are brilliant. So the game follows a girl named GRIS who wakes up on the palm of a crumbled statue of a woman. She attempts to sing out but quickly becomes choked up, and the statue hands crumble, dropping her to the colourless earth below. After that, you kind of take a journey of kind of self-discovery,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is about grief. You go from these different kind of worlds and areas in different colours. You start in red, you move into green, then blue, then yellow. And it's basically the story of a girl trying to come to terms with the death of her mother.
Yes.
But it's just so beautiful that the artwork is absolutely stunning. It's all kind of like geometric shapes, watercolors, just splashes on the screen. But the music that goes along with it is just sets the environment, the tone. It's so good. It's so
emotive,
like soul wrenching and effective. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And yet the game itself is a basic platform puzzler. There is nothing hard about this game.
No, my kids have completed it.
It can be done and completed in like the space of 3 to 4 hours. Not a long game at all, which is kind of why I picked it up and just decided to play it again.
I think that is it's the best thing. One of the best things about it. It's a one sitting game, like a record. Yeah. It's like you're listening to a full album.
Yeah, I sat and played. The second time I played this, I sat and played it in one sitting. This time I did it in a couple of sittings because I started it late and then finished it off on my next go. But I got through it way quicker this time because I kind of remembered things and what I needed to do. And
yeah, there are some puzzly bits.
Yeah, like as you go through the game, your character, she unlocks certain things where she can kind of turn herself into a block, which can destroy things. She can swim, and then she can do like double jumps and sing to the environment. You know, as you go along, you unlock these things.
I'm downloading it now. Fuck it.
But it's so good on the PlayStation 5 because
I'm
of
doing
the upgrade.
Now, mate.
That 120 frames per second is just stunning, and the controller, the noises come out the controller as well.
Oh well.
So
I'll play with headset anyway, like you told me to first.
Oh no, I would play it without the headset. If you played this already, if you're going to play it on the PlayStation 5, play it so the noises and the singing and that comes through out of the controller. Yeah. So they take advantage of that.
Only noise that's come out of this controller is BB from Death Stranding's crying.
So they full on. It's not just we've upgraded the graphics. They've actually put effort into it. The haptic feedback. There's the light. The light around the pad in the middle. That changes color when you go into the new environments.
I love that.
So it's just little touches like that. So it goes red and then green and blue. But yeah, I know that I've talked to Gadget about this, about buying it, and when he listens back to this, like, Gadget, I really think you would love this game. Just buy it.
It's meditative. I remember playing it because Stig knows me. He has to tell me how to play it to fully appreciate it, like he did with Hollow Knight. And he told me, don't listen to a podcast, put your headphones in and play it. And I did. And I came back to him that night and I drank a bottle of wine while I was playing it. And it just complemented it. I meditated while playing it, if you get what I mean. It was just... It's one of the best games in its genre, bar none.
I played it with my daughter after he recommended it, and really, she's fascinated watching it.
It's such a special game.
I think if you have experienced really close loss and grief, like that kind of game could really help you get through it.
I found it as like a bit of a losing of faith as well, and getting that faith back, not in a god, I mean in yourself.
Yeah.
And I interpreted depression as well.
Yeah.
And there's just some moments in that game that are just, the first time you play it, it's just like, it's just so brilliant and cathartic, and there's such a release.
Super special.
But even though knowing that certain things were coming, I was waiting for it, and I was just like, yeah, like I just love it. Man.
It is literally a game you could play once every year. Like
I played it 3 times in 4 years now.
Yeah, I could see it being a thing. Like my daughter's not played it. I know my son's played it and finished it, but I'd like to. My daughter's of age now, where she could probably sit and play it, and me and her just playing through that. I mean, I'm not going to give her any wine because she really got a taste for it at the moment. But
she's got prime she can drink.
She's got no problem, like father, like daughter. But yeah, I just think it's a game that, like, if you're on the fence with it, just take the plunge, and I'll back Stig up. If you don't like it, I'll pay for your copy that you bought.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say the same thing. Like, if you don't like it, it's like, if you don't like it, I'll pay for it, because I just don't see how.
Or you're a cop.
Oh, you're a cop. Yeah, and if you are a cop, I don't trust you anyway, so you're not getting any money.
Yeah, like I can completely see why someone might play it and go, "There's not much to it to a game," but there's more in there than just a game, and even the game is fine.
Yeah,
but it's weird how this studio hasn't done anything since came out. I think, what was it, 2018, 2019, something like that, and I don't understand.
I hope they're knuckling down, taking the time and doing something else. And
something like this, something like that real kind of tugs at your heartstrings and stuff. Like,
do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, do you know, like how everyone was talking about how Inside is such a formative moment in that genre and that platform. This is like the antithesis of something like Inside. Inside's the darkness, GRIS is the light.
Yeah,
that kind of genre, and it's
It's like the mix of the actual gameplay, like the technical element of the gameplay is secondary to the experience itself.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%. Because the artwork, the music is completely at the front of that game. The visuals and the music is all in that game. I was going to say, just like Inside, though, I have actually read different interpretations. Of GRIS, and it would actually work.
Yeah,
I'll tell you about it after, so it's not, it doesn't spoil it for anyone listening who hasn't played the game. But I read something and I was like, oh, that's interesting that's how they viewed it. So, but yeah, GRIS is amazing. It's had its upgrade for PS5, Xbox Series S and X. If you have both of those, I would go for the PS5 version because it's better.
So that means a 10 out of 10 game is becoming an 11 out of 10 now, basically.
I don't see it. Unfortunately, I mean, I actually don't view it. It's one of my favorite games, but I don't view it as a 10 out of 10 just purely because I think the gameplay is kind of basic.
It's minor, yeah. I think it's perfect. I don't think anything needs to change.
Yeah, but it doesn't bother me. I don't think it needs to be like a Mario-esque style platformer or all. Like
that detract from its message.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it was too hard, you'd probably maybe lose people. I think it's
exactly.
Difficulties.
There's not going to be any awesome games done quick speedruns of GRIS because it's not that kind of game. It's just super. Anyway, something like GRIS, which I think is French for grey, but we're going to go even greyer now.
Spanish, I think.
Spanish, yeah. We're going to go even greyer now to something we've all watched and I believe enjoyed. Cultural touchstone this month already. The Last of Us TV show by HBO. Is it HBO? HBO.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Has dropped. We've all seen the first episode. By the time you've listened to this, we've seen the second episode. I'll start. This floored me in a way. I didn't expect it to be this good at all. I was ready to write it off. We don't need games to become TV shows. Just play the game. No. This has got more to it. And you know how initially I thought this is going to be great? Is the opening. I'll just spoil the opening where a doctor's being interviewed. And I went, wow, we've already got way more context into this than ever before. And it's not beat for beat what the game is. There's enough difference to it. I'm getting surprised. I'm loving everyone in it. I've got no flaws. I know it's episode 1. I've got no flaws apart from it ended.
Yeah.
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 But what do you guys think?
Yeah,
I thought it was
absolutely
great.
loved it.
I thought it delivered exactly what I thought it would do. If you look at the storyline from any game, if any game is ever going to be a success as a TV series, this is ripe for it, because the game itself has been rightfully applauded for that, because it is a brilliant game. I love it. 1 and 2 are fantastic games. They're intense. They're not perfect as games, but as a story-driven game, absolutely. The acting in the games was fantastic. So for this to convert into a TV show, you need good actors to deliver that. And I think they have. They found them.
Do you know what's really interesting as well? Is this is probably the first time that they've just copied the story from a game and put it on the screen.
Yes, adapted.
And it's all the better for it.
Yeah.
All the Resident Evils and
made their own
they
thing,
kind of
haven't they?
enjoy it, the Halo stuff and everything. It's always like, we're going to make our own story separate from what you saw in the game. Because you've played the game, you don't want that story anymore. And this just proves that, no, if you have a good story and you have good writers and good actors to portray that on the screen.
And the director of the game actually writing the show.
Yeah, you can just retell that story for the screen, because it's not just gamers who are going to watch this. Yeah. I'm sat watching it with my wife. She really enjoyed the first episode. There are plenty of other people watching this for the first time who have never experienced The Last of Us and have no idea of the story.
Somebody at work came to me and said,
just
Tuesday, they
do
said,
that story.
Yeah. They came Tuesday and said to me, have you seen that new zombie program, The Last of Us? I know you like Walking Dead, The Last of Us. There's zombies and they can run and stuff. And I was like, yeah. And I didn't go, I've platinumed the game, and I didn't go into that, because my secret identity at work is I'm cool. But yeah,
gaming's cool these days, mate. Gaming's cool.
It's not
it is
for nerds.
I think the saddest part about the show is Nico Parker, because she was fantastic. What a delight she is in that show, playing Joel's daughter.
Oh, she was amazing. The scene, that scene, like, she just.
I think that's better than game. I think it's better than the game.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Pedro Pascal. What can't he do now? What can't he do? The man is a walking legend now. He is a chameleon, that man. Have you seen him in like Kingsman 2 and the difference between him and in Unbearable Weight of Talent, or whatever it's called? The difference in that man, and the Mandalorian, and then now Joel, and it's everything he's ever done. My God, fuck. The man can act, can't he?
And he's nailed Joel. He's nailed that sort of.
He sounds like how I think Joel sounds.
Yeah.
I love that they have got the little Austin accents. It's adorable. But it's I like how they haven't shied away. In fact, they've made more of a thing of actually Joel has got PTSD and he is quite cold-hearted.
Did you notice the little nod on the back of his car, bumper sticker saying veteran?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's why he's tough. That's why he's hard, because he's a veteran. You didn't get none of that in the game.
Yeah, it added touches. It added touches where it needed to, or it benefited from adding things, and it took things away that it benefited from taking away. Like there's elements that happened in the game that would have just dragged in a TV show, and then there's bits that are expanded on, and things that needed to be front loaded that you don't maybe get to see until a little bit further down the line with the game.
Yeah,
but it's been long enough since I played the game that I didn't realize, and I've really had some joy, like having a look at the side to side screenshots of the game versus the TV show, because it's been long enough that I played the game that I kind of I know it followed it pretty much beat for beat where it needed to, but I didn't realize just how similar the shots were, like in terms of when they're like driving away and everything, like that place is on fire, and I did notice that scene was pretty much identical to the game. I did remember that. Yeah. And it'd be interesting to see what
not all
they
of them
do.
are, though, are they? That's a bit like there's a scene that I think works better in a TV, like minor spoilers. There's a scene where Joel and Tess go into this underground tunnel to get to one of the other districts, and they see a mushroom creature pinned to the wall. And in the game, that's a scene where it tutorializes stealth and how to fight and how to kill. But because it's a show, instead of doing that, they're going to have a big brawl and put the gas mask on and have a fight and have a stealth section. It's done it where it's more intriguing. It's like, how the fuck has that happened? Because we've not seen a proper like moving clicker or anything yet.
No.
And they've just made it look frightening, and they've done it without having to make these people mass murderers. Because if you remember on the game, by the time you're out of the quarantine zone, Joel's killed about 400 fucking soldiers by this point. But he hasn't killed anyone at this point now. Do you know what I mean? Apart from that old lady at the beginning when he bonked around her head. Oh, and the guy at the end of the episode. Obviously, some major spoilers, but it's just the show's riddled with like little plot points, because I've watched it twice now. Little plot points, like it expands on the virus. Like it mentions that these cordyceps have like gone into the wheat and the corn, and if you notice, Joel and his daughter and his brother don't eat any bread products or any corn products in that episode, so that's why they're not sick. And the granny gets force-fed cookies that she doesn't want to. It's just fucking clever, man. It's just, and you can't get that in a game because you'd just be stood there, wouldn't you? And
the build-up,
game directors and game developers don't want the characters to just be stood there listening to lore, because it's just not how gaming works, is it?
It must be a departure, mustn't it, for Neil Druckmann as well? Like all of his experiences in directing a game, and it must be a jump. Because amazing of a director though he is in game, it wouldn't necessarily translate. So he's done well there to actually. I mean, maybe he's had a lot of help and a lot of advice, but keeping the beats
you've got to make a show from a game that's 50% gameplay and pull that gameplay out and make it a show that's 100% story.
That's why I like the build-up to the big event. I just like how there are subtle clues in the background, whether it's sirens going off or there's a news bulletin going off in the background. It's just a really slow. We know it's coming, but it's just
like when she goes to the
well.
watch repair shop and you've got to get home. No, you don't get none of that in game. None of it. No context. Yeah. And I that's how they've took that gameplay out and turned it. Like this neckbeards online saying, "Oh well, how come they weren't crouching behind crates and shooting?" Because that's boring. Do you know what I mean? This is not what it's about.
There'll be some crouching and shooting at some point.
They will, but you can't just go around shooting 400 people and then making it a big moment when Ellie sees Joel kill a man in front of her. Because in the game, he's already killed 400 men before that. It's not a moment, is it, anymore?
You've got to build it up for, like I said, there's an audience there who haven't played the game, who don't care about like physics of the game or anything. They just want a really, really good, really good story. Yeah. And it does that. I also like to say that I think that Bella Ramsey was really good. I think that some of the unnecessary hate that she's getting online is just... It's down to... It's weird. It's weird people who are... Oh, she doesn't look like Ellie, so she can't... It's like, who gives a fuck if she plays like Ellie?
He doesn't look like Joel.
Yeah. Like, if she plays like Ellie, which she's doing, and she sounds like her, and she does a really good job of it, like, that's all I'm looking for, and I thought she was great. So she had Ellie's attitude that nailed.
Yeah.
I think they're all brilliant. And she's giving them fake names and stuff like that, and she's trying to break out of the fucking... It's so good. I think that first episode's a perfect intro. I don't think they're all going to be an hour and 20 minutes, are they? I think it's just this first episode that's...
there'll be an hour with adverts. So 50 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. I'm just looking for... like I know when I get home from work tomorrow, as of recording, I've got one to watch.
Mm.
It's a good feeling. I'm glad it's not all on at once, because I'd have watched it all by now.
Yeah, see, I'm actually kind of enjoying this thing of
we're all in it together.
People bringing TV shows back to weekly viewing rather than just binging it, because we actually get to talk about it. So say, like, it's fine, but when you watch Stranger Things, like you two, I think Candy and Oodles smashed through it.
One weekend, didn't we?
But I didn't, and by that point, all the conversation's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas this, now, in our Discord, in our chat room, we can all talk about it weekly, about what's going on.
I do agree, as much as it hurts having to wait an entire week, but I do agree that it's nice to have a chat about it.
Do what I'm doing and watch The American Office in between.
Palate cleanser.
Wait, mate. Yeah.
I'm just going to watch it every single night until the next episode comes out.
I just think it's a flawless entry into a universe. I hope it keeps up with this momentum. I like the mystery that I'm like, oh, this is slightly different. This is slightly different. Like, Joel's really after finding Tommy, isn't he? Which wasn't a thing. And it's giving more stakes to the journey. It's making the journey not just Joel's got to escort Ellie. It's more Joel also wants to get away. And it's giving some more emphasis in that. I do like it. I think it's going to be good. And again, there's plenty of it. We might not see the whole game in this first season. Do you know what I mean?
No, you do.
Do you? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They've said?
Apparently
I
so.
was thinking that. Are they just going to do it season 1, then 1 season 2? Like, because
the second game's so much longer than the first game, though.
I had read somewhere that it ends as you'd expect the first game to end.
And when are they going to put in the Left Behind DLC? Anywhere in that? Do you know Ellie's backstory with a friend?
Maybe there might be flashbacks.
That was fantastic as well.
Yeah.
Mate, everything they've done's great. It's just...
I can see it being... If they want to stretch it out to, say, 3 seasons at least, this ends where the game ends, and then season 2 ends at the midpoint in the game. Yeah. And then we come back season 3.
Yes. The other opposite perspective.
And it does it what it did with us with the game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then and then people cry about it.
Yeah. Why are we concentrating on women? Why are women so powerful?
That's a very good point.
I'm going to have to finish number 2 now, aren't I?
Yeah.
I think you should, mate. And I think you should do it on stream.
Maybe I will. But then everyone's going to see how shit I am. Do you know what, actually? Maybe I'll play the first one again as well.
Oh, that updated version on PS5 is...
That's it, because I haven't played it on PS5 yet.
That is something else. I was like, this is... And do you know why you have that thing with that roasting at the glass where you're like, oh, this is how I imagine it? I will play that going, I did not imagine it this good. It didn't look this good. It looks stunning. It's just hasn't got that gameplay that the second one has. You can't prone and do all that crazy stuff that you do in the second one's such a better game, though. Oof. So good.
Second one's incredible.
But this fucking show, off to an absolutely bombastic start. I think it's brilliant. And again, people that have never even heard of the game, people are calling like, have you watched that last of them? Or the end of us? I'm like, oh yeah, the zombies. And I said to someone, I went, mushroom zombies, and they went, what do you mean mushroom zombies? Because they're just seeing it as they don't know all of it. You know, it's so fucking good, man. It's good.
I love that people are looking up cordyceps and realizing it's a real thing as well.
Yeah. Have you seen those videos with the ants?
Yeah, the spider's worse. Whoa.
There's one where I saw a cordyceps had affected like a monarch moth, a big fucking moth, like massive, like a fucking palm hand, and it fucking got cordyceps coming out of its fucking head, and then it jumped on a fucking blue cobalt tarantula, kicked fuck out of that, infected that way, and then they just all go off and we're gonna die by mushrooms, guys.
Did you know the interesting thing with the ants is they just get rid of it, don't they?
Yeah. That's it.
Like the other
they survive
ants
it.
They survive it away, throw the other ant away. Yeah.
I guess that's the only problem that The Last of Us has being compared to The Walking Dead, and
it's nothing like it.
No, but
it's
if people are sick of those if they're sick of those shows, that's the only thing that can affect the success of this. But hopefully, enough word of mouth will get people to watch it anyway. I
am the world's biggest Walking Dead apologist. I've seen every single episode of that show now. And no, I love it. But this is complete. Walking Dead's a comic book show. Everyone's super soldier in it. Do you know what I mean? They can kill zombies with a tiny little knife. This is a different thing. This is a more cerebral human story. Walking Dead's just fucking stupid by end. Mate, they were fucking stormtroopers in one of the seasons. Actual stormtroopers.
People are going to lose their shit, aren't they, at the beginning of season 2?
Yeah,
but that's it. I'm interested to see the development
people who
of
listen
Joel
to
and Ellie.
The game.
I'm interested to see how that relationship develops, because at the moment they're obviously quite offish because they don't know each other. So I think it'd be interesting to watch as the show goes.
There better be that scene in the car.
That scene, There better be. Absolutely better be. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait, and we could talk about this for hours, so let's move on to the main topic. Comedy! It's comedy month! And this is the patron's choice. What did they pick, Stig? As tradition, you tell me what it was.
They had a choice of cringe comedy, best satire parody, favourite comedy games, and golden comedy moments. And the favourite comedy games won it.
The nerds
with,
have won
I
again.
Believe 44% of the votes.
Ooh, the nerds have won it again. So, comedy games. I mean, me and Stig, when we were talking about it, we originally thought like games that are supposed to be comedies, but I suppose we've expanded it a little bit to games that make you laugh. I'm very intrigued in what Candy thinks is a funny game because she laughs at everything.
I laugh at everything, and what I'm laughing at in my game is not going to be what a lot of people find funny, but it's a game that tries really, really, really hard to be funny, and if you've got the sense of humour of a 12-year-old boy, it is, and that's the Borderlands series and Tiny Tina.
Yes.
Borderlands, right, yes. It's definitely a comedy game. It's
definitely a comedy game, but it's the most juvenile, cartoonish sense of humour there is.
It's almost like Looney Tunes.
It is. It's completely over the top. It's completely daft. But it's again, it's another one that's very self-aware. But it's dick and fart jokes. It's slapstick comedy. But it's also like a really bloodthirsty game as well. Like it definitely has dark moments. But and you know the things that are funny, the things that are supposed to be funny, like Claptrap, are often not what's the funniest part of it.
Now you have to forgive me on this a little bit. The only intro into the Borderlands world I know is playing the Telltale version,
right? Which I think apparently a lot of
people. A proper Borderlands game.
Apparently, the Telltale ones are some of people's favourites as well. Have you played the most recent one?
Yeah.
There's another one
I love Telltale games.
I haven't played either of them yet. So I've played. I haven't played 1. I've played 2, 3, and Tiny Tina. And because Tiny Tina is the most recent one I've played, I'll probably focus on that a little bit.
And the first-person shooters, aren't there? Like arcadey style first-person.
Yeah,
really good.
Even Tiny Tina is a first-person shooter, and I think a lot of people were thinking it was going to be kind of more medievally in spells, although you can use the spells. But I think Tiny Tina's possibly a little bit aimed maybe towards a slightly younger audience or to an audience that haven't played the Borderlands games before, because it is a little bit tamer, and it's not that like the humor in it is not quite so X-rated, but it's still pretty funny. Like there's I remember in the tutorial you pick up a spell and it's called they were talking about the tree trunks that are fallen. It was called Jumpus Tutorialis, because it's literally like showing you how to jump and everything.
I like that though.
And then you kill one of the crabs, which is basically to show you how to shoot and everything. And I think Tiny Tina's one-liner was, strangely, it died with its entire life savings on it. So you go for all the money and everything. Yeah, you've got Butt Stallion and Torg, which is a fairy that looks exactly like Marcus Phoenix, but he's wearing a tutu and fairy wings. You literally...
Yeah, I think Gadget mentioned that.
Yeah, it's good. You literally blow up the sea. You explode the sea. And
yeah, well, why not?
And there's an entire chapter dedicated to taking the piss out of The Witcher as well. Like that's the thing; it does quite well. It does parody.
Dare they?
It parodies a lot of TV. Like I think it was Borderlands 2, and there's Prince Geoffrey, I think, and he's
instead of Joffrey.
Yeah.
It's literally Joffrey. He's even sitting on he's sitting on a throne of guns. And there was another one as well, and I think you're trying to rename a species, which ends up being a bullymong, but you call it something and you can't. It's trademarked, so you end up calling it a bone fart or something. But it's just ridiculous. Not everyone is going to find it funny. It is dick and fart jokes. It's juvenile, but it tickles
one of the
my
best
fancy.
side quests in Borderlands 2, I think it was Shooty Muckface.
Shooty McShootface.
You find him in one of the levels and you go up to him and he's like, it has that little symbol above his head like it's a mission. So you go up to him and he goes, shoot me in the face, come on, shoot me in the face. You shoot him in the face, quest done.
Yeah,
you get XP for
it. Thank you.
That's the kind of quest I'm into. I like that. Are they actually well playing games? Are they good playing games?
Yeah,
They're
are.
good solo. You can play them with your mates as well, either together or online.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Really,
it's one of the
really
last
good
few
shooters.
split screen games as well that you can play as a
Yeah.
first person
wow.
shooter. Yeah, they are fun. But it's just completely ridiculous. There's not much.
I actually own the Handsome collection somehow.
I do,
yeah.
that. I mean, we could. I wonder if it's 2. I wonder if you can play it with 4 if it's online. I think you probably can. Maybe that would be a good one to play on stream.
Maybe, mate. Maybe. And I'm I'm a terrible shot though, don't you?
Oh, and me. Oh, I am the worst person at first person shooters. But
no,
Tiny
I'm worser.
I think you'll find I'm worser at first person shooters. But Tiny Tina, it's easy. It's so easy. It's such an accessible game. They're just looter shooters. You find a gun that you like, which in my case is like a rapid fire, and it's just like bullet fodder, spray and pray.
Kind of like a bolt rifle, mate. Not a sniper, but a bit more.
Yeah, you have that. You have that.
Bit of a long distance, but not quite.
And once you've
long distance.
completed the main game, there's like New Game Plus versions where it levels up higher. And the enemies are a lot tougher, and you can keep going and level up and get better versions of the guns.
I like the sound of that. That does tickle my fancy a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe
some
I'll
of the
just
post
crack
game
onto me and some collection I've got.
Some of the post game stuff in Tiny Tina is actually better than the main game. Like it is literally just a grind, but it's just it's that sweet it's just that sweet dopamine fix that you get when you get a gun that's just slightly better,
whilst being funny.
Oh yeah, absolutely, whilst being funny.
Cool. Borderlands, guys, get into Borderlands. Come on, God, fucking hell, I hate people that are not into Borderlands. Biggie, what's your game?
I've got a list here,
Borderlands
but one
2.
that I've got a big list here, but the one that I really wanted to talk about was Overcooked because
it's fucking funny, that game. I played a lot of that.
It's an okay game on its own, but it's with your friends is where it works. It's if you're in the same room, it's just unbelievably. It's
I nearly got divorced because of that game.
So funny, and it's such a basic concept. You're literally cooks in various different degrees of levels where the scenery changes. There's counters that move and stuff like that. But basically, you're basically in a restaurant on each level. You get orders come in. You have to make the orders, and depending on what they order, you have to find the ingredients. And somebody has to chop them up, somebody has to wash the plate, somebody has to serve the meals, and you have to be organised. And the more alcohol involved, the funnier that game is. And there's not many times when you'll find yourself in a room where somebody shouts out, "I need more fucking onions," and it's exactly that. It's just such a fun multiplayer game. You can mess 2v2, so you can nick the plates off your mates so they can't put food on plates. You can knock people out, you can nick their food. It's just chaos in a kitchen. Kitchen goes on fire, you can hide the fire extinguisher. It's just chaos, but as a room of people playing it, it's incredible. There's not many games as good as that.
I watched a stream of it was like a made for like a setup stream where they had a real head chef, a real sous chef, a real pastry chef, and everything like that, and they all had to play their own roles in that. And for the first like 4 or 5 levels, the pastry chef doesn't have a job, and he just stood there. It's so good. I was just streaming it, and it's like, and just go, come on, chop those fucking tomatoes, chop it. It's so fucking good. I've only ever played it like on Switch. Do you know them? Like a basketball court or on top of a building, a party. I'm joking, but in an actual house, and we've all got like a Joy-Con each, and oh fuck it, and a big smart TV.
Yeah,
where it splits. Fuck it, mate, I was fucking howling. And it's a game that you make the comedy come out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, we played it with shots as a penalty for losing the round.
Mate, you'd have been fucked.
we were, all of us were. It was brilliant. One of my mates at one point just drops his controller on the floor, and he's like, "Why is my kitchen on fire?" You know, it's
the opening level where you have to feed that creature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a bollocks plot. I mean, for some reason it has a plot, but yeah, it's just the gameplay itself is such great fun. But I got a list of honourable mentions as well.
Yeah, go for it.
I played recently NBA 2K Playgrounds 2, which is like a latter-day...
That's not a comedy game. That's a sports game.
But it's like a latter-day NBA Jam. It's just really funny with big head characters running around doing super moves, and 2v2 was just such a great laugh. I want to give a special shout out to the games like Discworld, Monkey Island, Day of the Tentacle, The Scum clicking point and click games. Cards Against Humanity as well. I played that.
Never thought of that. That's a game.
Ooh.
And I played that in a group of people, and
I
laughed my head off with that game. Some of the stuff that came out was just brutal.
I have come out with some brutal answers.
It's the most politically incorrect game ever.
Oh, yes.
It's so
and I can't even mention the one that won because it was just...
Don't.
The timing of that was incredible.
You can get... we have the kids' version.
Yes, we do.
The kids absolutely love it because it's just full of fart and pee.
There were once saying... I think what the question was, your mummy and daddy come down on Christmas Day, you open your gift and what's inside, and one of them was like, a big poo! And they just laugh their head off.
They love it. They absolutely love it.
Howling.
Yeah, if you're playing, like, with me and Kate playing with the kids, like, Kate will ask a question, and I'll get away with, like, a naughty answer, which will just go over the kid's head.
Yes.
So it's just like, I don't know if I've told this on here or not, like the one about daddy's trying something new.
No.
It was like something's like, sorry kids, daddy can't come today, he's trying something new. And then I put the answer as the babysitter. And Amelia was like,
we don't understand.
Yeah, Kate was laughed and Amelia was just like, I don't get it. It's like, man.
But a big poo would have been better.
And there's answers in there that are written by kids. In the corner it says written by child. So there's answers. They've actually got children to write some of the answers. Like,
it's a really good version of the game.
Yeah, so it's really good for kids.
The myth is true. There is a hidden card in the box of the game if you cut it open. That is a true myth.
Only in the new ones.
Yes,
not the originals.
That's what we got.
Yeah, we've got like when it first came out, we've got it. It's not in there.
Oh no, I've got the new one where there is a special card hidden underneath. You cut it open.
Ooh.
We did get the expansion pack where you can write your own.
Yeah, I like that as well. But then again, that really peers into your mind and how dark and twisted you are.
Yep.
Yeah. It's definitely got to play it with the right group of people to get the best fun out of it.
The new expansion pack's brutal because it's got. I don't even know if I want to say. No, I'm not going to say it because it's too much. It's too much about a certain celebrity, and I was just like, "Fuck, that's too far. That's too far."
We played once, and one of the guys just kept putting answers that made no sense to me. For it to be funny, you have to find something that's funny but also makes sense to the question being asked.
Yeah.
So he'd get stuff like the Jimmy Savile card, and he'd just put Jimmy Savile in. It's like that doesn't
always work.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Just put in Jimmy Savile as the answer.
Yeah, because it'll say like Ben and Jerry's have come out with a new ice cream flavour, and they'll put Jimmy Savile. That's not funny.
Yeah,
that's not funny. I mean, it depends how many vodkas you've had. That can be funny.
Yeah, he was just doing so crap because he just do stuff like that. Whereas
it's a great pick though. That big. That's a fucking.
Cards Against Humanity it's amazing, especially if you ever play it around parents or grandparents for the first time and they have no idea like what it's going to be.
I played it in a group of like-minded people, and it was just the funniest night I've ever had. It was incredible.
If you've got more honourable mentions, we'll save them. We'll move on. I've got a game, and I know none of you have played
I hope so, because that's what the topic is.
I know none of you have played it, because I mentioned it on the podcast very early on, probably in the first year. Maybe not the first year, actually. Maybe 2 years ago, judging from the release date of this game. A game called Unmetal. Released. Have you?
Yeah.
Fuck off, you liar.
Yeah, it was 2D stealth action.
Fuck off!
Classics. With a healthy dose of humour and satire, yeah?
I was about to say that. So yeah, what Stig said, you play as Jesse Fox, who is definitely not an elite commando, under arrest for a crime he didn't commit, and must escape a covert military base using his wits and fist. Now,
I do remember talking about this.
This is a Metal Gear parody. So, you need to have... This is one of those comedy games where you need to have played games before to appreciate it. And I don't mean just Metal Gear game. I mean games in general, like from history. Basically, it plays like 2D Metal Gear, hide and seek. A bit like Hitman as well, where you toss a coin, a baddie will walk to pick up that coin. You CQC them, and then you get rid of the body. But what the game does better than its actual gameplay. Its gameplay is really simple and really easy. It's hide and seek. You get found, alarm goes off, you're probably dead. That typical stealth stuff. But what the game does really cleverly is its narrative. It starts off, you're Jesse Fox, you're in a cell, and he talks like Solid Snake. He's putting a Solid Snake accent, but to a proper like caricatured level. And you're being interviewed by a colonel who asks you how you escaped this place. Because you get captured, basically. You're a helicopter pilot. That's it. You're a helicopter. You're not a trained military man or anything. You're just a helicopter pilot, a private helicopter pilot, and you get shot down. And then you can answer how you escaped, and you've got to play like one of the very first things. Like, I entered this courtyard, and there was, and then it asks you how many guards you want to put in there, and if you put, it'll say 2, 5, 10, and the game kind of tricks you. Like, I thought, I'm going to put 2 guards in there. And he goes, 24 guards. I'm like, fuck! He's done me. He's absolutely done me. If you'd have picked 10, he'd have gone, 10-inch guards. You know what I mean? He doesn't fully tell you what it is. And it's 24 guards. And like, you can restart that checkpoint and do it again. And there's always a correct answer that makes the game a bit easier. But then you just continue and you unlock more things. Like, there's a bit where there's another soldier trapped behind a prison, and you're looking through the window. Do you know the prison bars when they can't get out? And it is like, I need a radio. If you can get a radio, I'll chat to you. Do you know, like on Metal Gear, the codec type thing? Mm. And he'll go, I'll go find you a radio. You find a radio, you hand it to him, and he goes, right, have you got a radio? I'm like, no, I've just given you that radio. So then, if you're not clicked on, you've got to go and then find your own radio and shit like that. And like, I've picked out my favorite moment. Like, you get the clever thing is, whenever there's a boss, a big boss, you pick what you want to fight in a weird way, but without knowing fully what it'd be. Like, I went into the sewers at one moment. And it's like, and then I was besieged by, and it let you choose rats, squirrels, and I thought, I'd rather get besieged by squirrels if I were in a sewer. 10 million squirrels, and then they chase you out of fucking sewer, and you've got to fucking torch them with a flamethrower and fucking get out of there. Or like, there's some bosses like, I fought a big trash monster in the sewer, and it had, and you pick how many tentacles it had, and again, 24 tentacles. It probably tricks you, and I've got some early interactions as well that's really funny. So the guards are all called Mike for a gag that's in the game. So like, there's one moment where you knock on a door and like, it's one of the guards, who is it? I'm not letting you in. And it goes, it's Mike. But if you put the wrong name in, you're going to get a game over. Do you know, like a point and click?
Yeah.
We can get game overs from dialogue. If you go, it's Mike. Oh, hi Mike, come in. You're not Mike. And you've got to fight him and stuff like that. And then there's one moment where you kind of don't want to interact with him. You're sneaking around, you're stealthing around. And one of the guards goes, hey, I fell asleep. No, he goes, hey, I feel asleep. And then the protagonist, there's a little notification that you can interact, and he can't help it. Jesse can't help it. And he goes, it's actually, hey, I'm sleepy. That's the correct vernacular. And because you've like corrected that guy, then he goes on alert because you've just talked to him. Do you know what I mean? Clever things like that game. And it also sets up, there's one scene where you go into a bathroom, something like Metal Gear. You go into a bathroom and you know there's a guard in the toilet, and a normal human would walk out and leave him because he's on the toilet. Solid Snake or Jesse Fox in this game, it'd kick fuck out of him, wouldn't there? So if you do, then you've got to explain to the interviewer of the actual full game why you kick the fuck out. I literally beat the shit out of him. No, literally, the shit came out of him and stuff like that. It's really, you've got to be there. And like certain daft things in the game as well. Like if you just keep punching crates, he'll ask you, why are you punching crates? And stuff, really clever things like that. And throughout the game, I've written down it. Throughout the game, you literally choose what encounters you want to do. I've said that. Like you'll be asked to interview what you saw, for instance, in the sewer with the rats. But you can also like make the game harder. Like there was also lasers and mines and stuff like that. And I just think it's good. And if you're a big Kojima fan like I am and Candy is, the whole game bashes him throughout. Completely bashes him.
How dare
like,
they?
Who'd write that into a game? Like you can choose what the boss's backstories are. You know, like on Metal Gear games where once you've beat the boss, they have that big dialogue and monologue about why they're baddies, and you can choose what it is, and it's just so I'm not going to spoil what options you get to pick. It's so fucking funny.
Every time you kill one, they go on like a 5-minute monologue about the backstory.
The first one when you kill him is like, you know that monologue you just said, I could have spent this time healing you, because you know what I mean, I could have saved your fucking life. But
sorry to interrupt, I was just thinking about how funny it is on like Metal Gear Solid, where you just fight someone to the death. They do that, and like you're just like, why aren't you just shooting them in the head and finishing it off? Like, why am I stood around? Like, I get it for the
listening
narrative of the player, but why is Solid Snake stood around listening to this?
Yeah, and it plays on that kind of thing, but it also plays on other games and stuff like the point and click where you've got to merge two items together. Now on this game, you can literally, and I mean, there's loads of items you can find, like just this piece of string and a trash can. You can mix anything together and it will make something. It might not be what you need. Like there's a bit where it says you've got to make chloroform to put on an handkerchief, and what does this smell like? Chloroform, and do that to baddies, because if you kill a baddie and don't heal them before they die, you get game over because he's a pacifist. So you can still shoot them with guns that you get, but you've got to heal them afterwards. So chloroform's the best fucking weapon you can find because it just puts them to sleep. And like you'll go into a lab and there's like 15 different fucking like chemicals. And in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to do some fucking chemistry here. But one of the chemicals is called chlora, and one of them's called form. So that's how you mix it. But like myself, I'm mixing chlora with sodium, thinking I'm about. I just blow up because I've created some kind of. It's so fucking clever. And every time you kill a baddie without them seeing you, you level up. And by the end of it, every time you level up, you get a choice between one thing or another. By the end, I was just this muscle-bound hunk. Because that's how I was leveling my character up. And it implications in the game. Yeah, like real life. It's just a really good... And the game's 4 or 5 hours long, but it does have replay value.
I've just looked, actually, it's a bit longer than that, so you actually get more out of that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just really good at games. But yeah, I like a lot of critics gave it like a 9 out of 10, and it landed on an 82 on Metacritic, but it's just underrated and no one's know about it because the game full on tells you like you'll appreciate this game more if you've played like Metal Gear, you've played like the last 30 years of games. If let's say you were a 15-year-old gamer that turned up and started playing, you wouldn't like it. You just because it's just such a simple game, but if you can find it cheap, especially like again,
I just bought it for £1.26.
Yeah, I think you'll laugh your tits off. You'll sit there.
It's verified for the Steam Deck, so
yeah. I genuinely think you'll come back to me in a few days and go, mate, that was fucking brilliant. It's daft. It's funny. There's secrets to unlock. You can like punch walls, holes in walls and stuff. It's just really good. And this at first I thought, God, the dialogue's really shoddy on this, but it makes sense when you realise what it's parodied, because everyone sounds like someone from Metal Gear. Like the Colonel sounds like the Colonel. And it's just got some really like fourth wall breaking moments to it as well that I just really appreciate. And I think people should check it out. Again, it's called Unmetal, and it is a comedy. What's it called? Comedy
parody?
Tactical espionage action. That's what
it's like
called.
A parody, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a parody. And it's just so fucking... I really think it's good. It's by Versus Evil, and they do some really good games as well. Indie developer. But yeah, check it out, Unmetal. If you've got any love for Kojima as well, you'll appreciate it massively. But yeah, who's last?
Me.
Stig, go.
Well, I was going to talk about the South Park games. I'll quickly mention them because if you are a fan of South Park, the last 2 South Park games, The Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole, are absolutely fantastic.
I think the fucking names are funny enough.
Yeah, it's like playing like an episode of the show, like because now we're at a point where video games, not like like the old South Park games, like 3D.
That one on Nintendo 64 where you pissed on the snowball.
Yeah,
I just remember all those turkeys.
They just looked terrible though, didn't they? Whereas now it is just genuinely like a side scroll.
It just looks exactly the same,
RPG that looks like the game the TV show, so you have all like the cutscenes are like just watching an episode, but it's just chock full of amazing South Park humor and Easter eggs. If you are like me, who's seen every single episode of South Park up to that point that they came out, the Easter eggs in especially the sticker
They're
truth.
amazing.
Amazing. They're everywhere. Like you'll see just something in the back of someone's like wardrobe, and it's just a little reference and that. But yeah, those are just outstanding. And
I think the first one's better. I think the first one's better than the second one, personally.
Yeah, I think the first one is better, but I think that's mainly because it's like they threw all their eggs in that basket, and then oh, it did really well. So we're not playing like a D&D style characters anymore. We're gonna play superheroes. But like it's just little things as well. Like you can go visit Canada, and
and it's terrible. It's 2D.
Yeah, the Canada levels like this 2D like NES looking Zelda area.
It's so fucking good. Oh god,
yeah.
I need to replay it. I've got them both on Switch, but the massive download files. Yeah, like 50 gig for a Switch.
But they're actually, even for me, I quite enjoyed the battle system as well. It's quite easy, and
the first one's turn based. The second one's more like a strategy one, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got blocks. You got to move around the board and get into position and stuff. But yeah, they're really good. They're really funny. But the South Park games, if you're a fan of them and you haven't played the games, you really should. Because it's a game where even if you're not really into that combat, which I'm not really massively into it, but the comedy.
It makes it funny enough to pull through it,
Just wandering around South Park and doing the little
a full realised version of South Park.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a full like proper South Park, doing all the side missions,
and changing your costume and that, and turning into a goth and stuff. Is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean they push the boundaries as well. Like the difficult meter is just pure South Park.
Little tip for you as well. There's a joke in the game on the European version where they had to cut a scene out, and it makes a joke about it. If you change your where you live, what's the word for it? Your
region,
location, your region to a different country. It's not cancelled out, so you can actually view that scene.
In Europe, you can't view one of the scenes.
The anal probing.
Yeah.
But if you watch it in like America, I think South America, something like that, you see it all, and it's fucking brutal.
It's brutal, but I actually quite like the censored version as well, because they just what they put on the screen is kind of like
they come out and chat, and then like they put like dolphins doing tricks and stuff.
It's so good. I really hope we get another one, to be honest. Like
I do, but then again, it's Ubisoft, so we might not.
Yeah. Anyway, South Park. But yeah, the other game I want to talk about, which is one that Oodles didn't really get on with, but it's hilarious and got a lot of love from everyone else. It's Untitled Goose Game.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just a game as you play it as a goose, causing havoc. You're running around as a goose, honking at people. You've got a dedicated honk button, so you can run around just honking all you like.
I appreciate the honk button.
You've got a list of things to do, which just involves just making the people in this little village that you're in, making their life a nightmare, just so you can kind of get from one end to the other. And I had such a good time playing with it, just winding like the gardener up, just stealing all his vegetables, turning the hose pipe on, and you could just see like they get proper angry, and like and when they chase you as well, they chase you like they all look like old people, don't they? So
like diver, the diver towards you, don't they?
Yeah, they don't like run after you. They're just like little old ladies like trying to like get after you.
And if you played it like I played it, if I'm getting chased, I'm honking while I'm being chased.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to honk, and you can honk. You can honk when you have stuff in your mouth as well. So it's like
honk if you're horny.
Yeah, it's just basically a game where you're just a goose and you're an absolute bastard. Especially
I just saw what. It's not that I didn't get on with it. I just saw people saying it was Game of the Year. I was like,
oh no,
whoa now.
It's just
whoa now.
it's only about an hour and 20 minutes, but it's such a good time
while you.
Me too. It's such a good time while you're playing it, and it's
a great game for Switch.
Yeah, it's a great game for the Switch, and it's now 2-player, so you can.
Is it?
Yeah, they've upgraded it, so it's
now. Maybe I like it more.
It's now 2-player, so you can cause just as much havoc, but with 2 of you. And I just love the bits like running around in the little market area and just tormenting the little boy. Like,
that bit is.
There's
good.
a boy who doesn't like he looks at, he must be a 10-year-old boy.
He's scared of the goose, isn't
and
he?
he's scared the goose. He can run after him, and you can trip
Rightly
him
so.
over. You can trip him over, and he loses his glasses. And then you can pick his glasses up and run off and be like, honk, 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 when you run away with his glasses.
It is quite funny now. I think I step aside from it and the hype. I think it is quite funny.
Pick up basically anything that's around. You can kind of pick up and just fuck people's days up. It's just
There is an achievement on one of the versions where you can pick. I think it's from the very first pond. You can take an item with you all the way to the fucking end. It's like an apple or something stupid like that. But I might give that another punt. I bought it. You know what I mean?
think I'm gonna give it another go with a 2-player.
Yeah,
re-download it on my Switch and give it another go because it's just
My kids fucking adored it. They were laughing their asses off.
Watching a clip now, I was just reminding myself before the podcast and just watching the little boy like getting chased around.
I thought the gardening bit were quite difficult at first.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I thought a lot of the game was quite difficult to be. I kept getting caught.
Because you have to time it perfectly, don't you?
Yeah.
There's ones where you kind of have to do things in certain ways and distract a human enough to do another thing. So like when you're in the like the two gardens next to each other, there's like an achievement where you, I think, steal the bow tie or pretend to be the plastic goose. So you have to steal the bow tie and put that on, and without the woman noticing and things. It's silly things like that. And there's all in the background throughout the whole thing while you're playing. It's just like someone just like this jazz kind of piano going on in the background that just mimics. So if you're causing
the more you're doing.
Yeah, if you're causing absolute chaos, it just like the piano just kind of just gets louder and faster and stuff.
Yeah, I might get another go now. I'm out of the zeitgeist of people saying it's the best game and everyone's honking on Discord. I'm like, stop honking! It's not funny.
Honk. It was funny.
You were in your element that fucking month, mate. You were just honking everything.
I got myself a little goose.
I know. Every time anyone said something, you were honking.
I love
winding me up.
It's such a fun game. It's like it's an hour and 20 minutes. It's not even like a long one.
It reminds me of the fun I had playing Donut County. I think Donut County is in that.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Those games are very similar. One sitting game. I fucking love Donut County so much.
Donut County's got great comedic writing as well, like with the bits in between.
Yeah.
Like when you go like down into the cave or whatever it is underneath and they're talking, like some of the writing in that is hilarious. That's
and where the actual story leads to by the end. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. Love those games. Love them. Good choices. Now, do we have anything from our faithful listeners in the satchel of hilarity? Now you're deciding who's going to do it, aren't you? Who's going to read it out?
Biggie.
I'll do it if you want.
Okay, you do it.
Okay, first up from Nimrod Hicks. He originally suggested Portal 2.
Great game. I've played that recently as well.
Tig also agreed. Said this.
Yeah, they are both correct.
Nimrod also mentioned Hogs of War was a personal favourite. The Rick Mail voiceover was fantastic.
Basically, Hogs of War were 3D worms before worms became 3D,
yeah.
and it was so good on PS1. I love that game.
I'm ashamed to say I've only played Portal 1. I've not played 2.
Oh mate, get the Switch. Have you got? You haven't got a Switch, have you? You're Sony forever, aren't you, mate? But yeah, the Switch versions of Portal 1 and 2 fucking incredible to fit on that machine. Fucking brilliant. Love them both. I think 2's way better than the first one.
Xenos agreed with Portal 2. He said it's a solid mix of regular funny black comedy, outright stupidity, and surprising intelligence. Portal was funny. Portal 2 is close to genius, and the puzzles don't suffer for it either. One of the few games I've ever seen to have a puzzle where the solution is based on the fact that the player characters cannot move through each other. That almost never works for practical stuff. Then he says, potatoes or potatoes is such a great twist on GLaDOS or GLaDOS.
Potatoes.
There's a point before it happens where you can't find a poster about all Aperture. Also, where you can find a poster about all Aperture systems being able to run on the voltage you can get out of a potato in emergencies.
Yeah. It's such a good game. It's fucking brilliant.
Bobby came in with the N64 South Park game. Wholly inappropriate
it's not
for a
funny,
10-year-old.
Bobby. It's not
at the time,
funny.
but funny nonetheless, he says.
See, Robert, you're one of my bestest, dearest friends. You like Nickelback, for God's sake. South Park game on the N64 is not funny. Pissing on the snowballs and throwing them at turkeys is not funny. Maybe it is funny, actually. Now I've just said it out
That
loud.
was the best thing about it. The rest of it was just shit. It was just hampered by the technology at the time. Like I said, now we've got the tech to actually.
Remember the cutscenes
South
in that
Park
game where they were all 3D and he had like Kenny's fucking hood up and it just looked like a fucking tube.
Awful.
Like a Lego block.
Oh, God, horrendous. Maybe I'll get a Nintendo 64 and replay it. I think it was PS1 as well, weren't it? Maybe. I bet it's shite now, but it plays like fucking crap.
Next up,
download it on the Steam Deck just to see.
Yeah, have a blast. After you've played Unmetal, play Unmetal first.
Futile exercises come in with many games have the occasional comedy moment, but as for an actual comedy game, I would just have to go back to the classic LucasArts point and clicks.
Yep. Yeah, there's no question. So some of them, when I played them as a kid, went over my head, but replaying them as like Grim Fandango, playing that as an adult, that's fucking brilliant. Come on.
I remember trying to play Leisure Suit Larry and answering the questions at the beginning that were for adults.
And not knowing what an orgasm was.
Not knowing the answers, but then
still
miraculously guessing it right. And you'd be like, yes, I'm in.
God, they still make Leisure Suit Larry games, don't they? Fuck.
They do, amazingly enough.
Wow.
There's moments in them, to be fair. There is some funny bits, but yeah, they're quite poor, really. Next up, Angry Kurt. Hi, Emmy crew. I was initially struggling to think of a suggestion for this topic until I thought of a standout game that makes me laugh more than any other, and that is the Yakuza series. I've only played 0, Like a Dragon, and Judgment, but each of them have hilarious moments with dialogue and scenes in the side missions that are really funny and memorable. The combat also has an element of humour to it. Some of the ridiculous takedowns you can do, especially in Like a Dragon, which has not got a basis in reality of the combat, so it can get even sillier. One of my favourites was the Kimichi side mission in Like a Dragon, all the more impressive given that the game is localised. Cheers, Kurt.
It's not, especially Like a Dragon, I think that's the daftest of them all. Fucking hell, the things you do on that game. And that's a turn-based JRPG, do you know what I mean? It's weird. And you do like mini-games where you're picking up cans to sell to make money and just weird. Like, it's really the side of Japanese comedy that you don't often see, but in the Yakuza games, you see them front and center. Like, even Judgment, it's like, it's set up as a really serious game. And then there's just stupid, daft things in it. I think they're genius.
I've seen the scene in Like a Dragon where they're fighting men dressed as nappies. Dressed in nappies.
Yep.
In that
There's
weird fetish.
Weird stuff than that. Trust me.
Each to their own. But yeah, that's the mailbag.
Well, not quite, because somehow Biggie managed to miss off Lee Davies' feedback. And considering Lee is one of our patrons, I thought it was only fair that I came back in and read his feedback out. So, Lee says, Worms Armageddon. I know it's not got much in the way of actual scripted jokes, but there's a sense of comedy to the game and its weapons. The main reason I'm picking this is that this is the game that me and my mates would play while we all got stoned while I was in my late teens. Must have played hundreds of hours of this game, listening to 90s hip-hop and laughing my ass off. Good times. I agree, Lee. It's an absolute great game, Worms. When you've got a group of friends around, it's absolutely hilarious. And thanks again for the feedback, and I'm sorry that Biggie is a bit shit.
Excellent. So, as always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk, and please consider becoming a patron to help support our endeavour. And like I said last time, we've got a lot in the pipeline for patrons this year. But please, if you can, give us any money. Give us a 5-star review. Yeah, so easy to do. Next week, we're doing our very first 2023 knockout-style tournament. We are famous for these knockout-style tournaments. And what are we doing next week, Stig? Because fucking hell, it's going to be intense.
We're going to do our comedy film one. So we've all picked 2 comedy films. They're going to go head-to-head. We're going to battle it out to try and determine what is the best comedy film of all time?
Officially.
And I appreciate that there are films missing off this. We can only pick 2.
Yeah, come on.
There are some obvious missing ones for me on here, but that's just me. So I'll tell you what they are in case, as a listener, you'd like to watch any ones that you haven't seen. So Oodles has picked The 40-Year-Old Virgin and This Is Spinal Tap.
Yes.
Biggie has picked The Jerk and Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yep.
Gadget's picked Planes, Trains and Automobiles and Office Space.
Strong.
I've picked In Bruges and What We Do in the Shadows.
Strongest.
And Candy has picked Hot Fuzz and Anchorman.
I can see this being quite fucking tight. And again, we did it fair last time. We did this off air, but we picked, in all fairness, no one got there first without us doing a random generator. So it's going to be same stuff as we usually do with these knockouts. Probably going to go on longer than we like. We're going to argue. We're going to cry. But ultimately, the official best comedy film will come out victorious. So, if you're not a patron, this is the end of the show for you. If you are a patron, meet us in the green room and you'll, unlocking so much more hilarity. But yeah, this has been a podcast.
It's the funniest part of the pod.
It is so good, Tim. It's so good. Bye.
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 Bye, losers.